Okay, I am going to attempt to stay composed for the sake of having an actual take on this move. James Harden was traded for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, 2 first-round picks. It happened. The trade whatever, it happened. First and foremost, man, look, there was a lot of conversation about Daryl Morey and the holdout for Ben Simmons, and there was so much. Morey's got no leverage. Simmons has no leverage, whatever. Daryl Morey got his guy. He got him, man. So for the clown on Daryl Morey show that some people had, and I'm not saying that you were ridiculous for believing that, but Daryl Morey got his guy. So kudos to him. It worked. Now, you lost Seth Curry, who mattered in this whole thing, but of course you got back James Harden. And man, this Nets thing and everything about it, I mean, people thought this was going to be a soap opera. You ended up being right. Now Ben Simmons is going there, and there's a lot to think about there. How many games did Kyrie, KD, and Harden play together? 16 total, with the crowning moment being that round 1 series against the Celtics and the first couple games against the Bucks, I believe. Wow. Who do I start with from a basketball standpoint? I mean, I guess the Sixers, because I don't know, I have to pick one. If James Harden is, James Harden, look, he's 32, and with how he's been this season, where one game he looks like the Harden we've always known, amazing scorer, run everything through the guy, and the free throw attempts have been going up gradually throughout the season and all that, and then other nights he's looking a little slower, looking a little more hesitant to drive, and there was always a thing with the Nets where it's like, well, maybe sometimes he's looking to pass a little too often, and I mean, if he's back or just like 90, 80%, I don't know, to what we expect James Harden to be, the Philadelphia 76ers, I know, Seth Curry's gone, he mattered, no doubt. They kept Thibault, that's huge. The 76ers are title contenders because Embiid is that good right now. I mean, this is the ideal, this is the perfect number 2 guy. You even want to call him a number 2 guy, it's James Harden next to Embiid, but I guess that's what it is with how good Embiid is right now. I mean, you think about Harden and Embiid pick and rolls. Sometimes Embiid likes to pop a little more than I guess you'd like super duper like, but at the same time it doesn't matter because the guy's amazing. So we'll see there whether that's, popping for Harden to give him space to go to the rim. If teams choose to switch those sort of actions, then Embiid's got a mismatch. Harden has a mismatch up top. The potential to just bail them out of possessions that are not really going anywhere, which I don't even know how often that's going to happen now at this point, is huge. The amount of free throw attempts these two can make. I mean, you think about this team now, and trust me, I'll get to the Nets and Ben Simmons, but you think about them in a playoff series and, the Bucks with their amazing defense, and it's like, yeah, the Bucks and the way that they can keep you out of the paint, that's huge. But if you can also just have 2 guys who just grind their way to 20 free throw attempts in a playoff game, that can be what sways this, Same thing can be said against the Heat, and I mean the Nets, we'll see. The Bulls, oh God, who else is in the Eastern Conference? My brain is lost right now. Philadelphia is a real title contender. So there you go. Assuming that James Harden is all the way back, and that's the biggest thing. There are other questions there as well in terms of like Harden's off-ball movements and all that, but they got James Harden, so there you go. They also picked up Paul Millsap, so maybe he can serve as a backup. I mean, he might just be kind of washed. I don't know. They might need to go get a backup center or whatever. In terms of the Nets now, Ben Simmons is on the Nets. When are we going to see him? Is it in a week? Well, I don't know. I'm not going to make any speculations. We're just going to have to see there. For the Nets, I mean, look, if they believed that Harden just really wanted out and he was going to be gone this offseason, then okay. I mean, look, he's way younger. He's under contract for the next 4 years now, I believe. And, I mean, you assume at minimum you've got Kevin Durant and you've got Ben Simmons for a while now. Don't know what's going to happen with Kyrie. Obviously, Harden's gone now, but okay. That's still a great starting point, even if this is not as good as what we envisioned the KD, Kyrie, Harden thing could be when that happened. Defensively, they needed this. I mean, they needed a guy who could guard at least 4 positions against most teams and maybe 5 against some teams. I mean, I'm thinking about the playoffs again. You're facing Miami. You can put Ben on Jimmy Butler. You can have him defend Giannis. You can try him on DeRozan or Levine. Is he going to lock everybody down? No, these are great players. They're still going to do their thing, but you hope that he can slow guys down. And as far as the offense is concerned, the thing that I immediately think about with Ben is his screen setting potential. I mean, when Kyrie is available, Ben setting screens for Kyrie, diving to the rim, I think there's a lot of potential there. Hopefully they just hammer that home with Ben, because I do think he needs to be encouraged a little bit to do that sometimes. Hopefully we don't see a lot of Ben Simmons standing in the dunker spot. I really hope Steve Nash is more creative than just let me stick him right there. Now he can do that, and he can be a weapon, but you don't want him doing that too much, you know? As far as half-court sets, I mentioned screen setting for like Kyrie. The one thing is, if you do that with KD, then I think teams would switch that because they probably have like-sized defenders already guarding those two. Not to say it can't be effective, it definitely can. And besides that, we will see. I mean, if you want no big guy in the paint when Ben Simmons is out there, then look, LaMarcus Aldridge can shoot. Blake, the shooting has been what it's been this season, but you hope that he can be awesome from outside. Of course, Ben gives them so much when it comes to his fast break potential. Now, at the same time, this is still the Brooklyn Nets, and they've been a soap opera, so maybe they're going to continue to be a soap opera for whatever other reason. But given that Harden definitely wanted out, you could have done a lot worse. You know, you certainly could have. And I know it's been Ben Simmons' roast session for a while, but Ben Simmons, he does a lot of things well. Yeah, he had a really, really bad 3 or 4 games against Atlanta. I do not think it would be the go-to thing to be like, yeah, Ben Simmons is done, or, you know, we've checked out on what he can really be in the NBA. So that's all I got, man. Hopefully I didn't miss any detail. Is this like the biggest trade deadline deal of all time? I'm not going to think about it off the top of my head, but it could be.